Hey everyone, welcome back to follow-up questions for Fluent Conversations. I'm Emily, and I'm really glad you're here. If you enjoy learning through real chats, tap subscribe so you never miss an episode.
And I'm Zach. Today we're talking about the small skill that makes every conversation feel bigger. Follow-up questions. A follow-up is simply the next question that keeps the topic alive and shows real curiosity.
Why does this matter? Because follow-ups turn short answers into stories. An open-ended question, meaning it can't be answered with just yes or no, invites detail and helps people relax into the conversation.
Quick story. Last week at work, a new teammate said, "I just moved here." Instead of, "Cool," I asked, "What surprised you most about the city?" He lit up. Then I followed with, "How are you finding the food?" and "What do you miss from home?" That chain built rapport, the friendly connection that makes people feel seen.
That reminds me of a coffee line moment. A woman had a marathon shirt, so I said, "How did the race go?" When she mentioned Rainy Hills, I asked, "What helped you keep going on the hardest part?" She started to elaborate, share more detail, and before we reached the counter, we were swapping training tips.
Tiny vocabulary moment. Prompt means a short nudge that invites a response, like, "Tell me more about." Segue means a smooth transition between topics. And conversation thread is the line of ideas you're following. Keep nudging that thread with gentle prompts and natural segues.
Quick recap. Open-ended questions spark stories, prompts keep them going, and rapport grows when you listen for feelings and details. If you're unsure what to ask next, pick one detail from the last sentence and explore it.
If you're new here, hit subscribe and maybe share this with a friend who loves good conversation. Speaking of that, Emily, what's a recent follow-up that changed a chat for you?
Yesterday, I complimented my neighbor's balcony garden. "Your basil smells amazing." She said she grows herbs to relax. I could have stopped there, but I asked, "What got you into growing herbs?" Then, "Which dish makes that basil shine?" She told me about her grandmother's tomato sauce, and we ended up trading recipes. That one extra question opened a door.
I love that. It shows respect, too, because a good follow-up says, "I heard you." Another useful word there is elaborate. When someone elaborates, they add color and context. Our job is to make space for that.
And space can be silence. A tiny pause after their answer can be more powerful than rushing in. People often keep talking if they feel you're truly listening.
Quick mini recap before we move on. Choose open-ended questions. Notice one detail, ask a respectful follow-up, and allow a small pause. That simple rhythm turns small talk into real talk.
Coming up, we'll dig into flexible question frames, polite softeners, and intonation, so your follow-ups sound natural, not pushy. Stick around, and again, hit subscribe if this is helpful.
Let's dig a little deeper into flexible question frames you can reuse, and the intonation that makes them land softly. I like starting with, "What made you?" or "How did you decide?" They invite a story, not just a fact.
On the bus this morning, a woman said she switched to night shifts. I didn't jump to advice. I asked, "What made you choose nights?" With a gentle rise at the end, almost like an invitation. Then, "How has that change been for your energy?" She opened up about quiet hours and better focus.
That rising tone, some people call it uptalk, signals, "I'm listening, tell me more." After she answered, did you follow up or just nod?
I echoed one detail. Better focus? A short echo question. Then I paraphrased. So the quiet helps you settle into tasks. Paraphrase just means I restated her idea in simple words. That falling tone at the end showed I understood, not that I was questioning.
Speaking of that, at a cafe yesterday, a designer told me, "Deadlines are wild this month." I said, "What's the part you enjoy most, even when it's busy?" Small rise, an invitation. When he shared a win, I added a softener. I'm curious, what made that project feel different? Softeners like "I'm curious" or "if you don't mind" keep questions gentle, not pushy.
Quick recap. Echo a key word, paraphrase to show you heard it, then add a soft follow-up with a light rise. Echo, paraphrase, rise. That rhythm turns a single answer into a small story.
Another frame I lean on is contrast. What surprised you the most, and what felt totally expected? That double question gives them two doors to walk through. I used it with a cousin starting a new job, and we got honest, useful details, no interrogation vibe.
I like timeline frames. What happened first, and what came next? It's simple, but it structures the story. In a cooking class, the teacher burned the first sauce. I asked, "What did you change on the second try?" The fall at the end made it sound calm and curious, not dramatic.
When a topic is sensitive, I cushion it. If it's okay to ask, how did that affect your day? The phrase, "if it's okay," is a softener. Pair it with a slower pace and a steady, falling tone to show care.
Do you ever use the most frame? What was most helpful? What felt most challenging? When someone is overwhelmed?
All the time. It narrows the focus without shutting them down. Yesterday, a friend vented about moving apartments. I asked, "What's been most stressful, and what's one small thing that eased it?" He exhaled, and we found a practical next step, labeling boxes by room.
Mini recap. Choose a flexible frame. What made you? Timeline, contrast, or most. Then match your tone. Rising to invite, falling to confirm you understand. Add a softener when a topic feels tender.
Coming up, we'll layer in polite language and listening moves, like tiny pauses and gentle cues, so your follow-ups feel natural in any setting. Let's get into the trio that makes follow-ups feel kind. Polite softeners, active listening, and those tiny pauses that do big work.
On my commute yesterday, a colleague looked tense. Instead of jumping in with advice, I tried a softener. "If it's okay, what's weighing on you today?" Then I went quiet. That small pause, 2 slow breaths, told her there was space to answer.
Did she open up right away, or did the silence feel awkward?
She took a beat, then started talking about a tough client call. I used back channels, little listening sounds like, I see, right, to show I was there. Back channel just means you're encouraging without taking the floor.
I like that. A softener plus a pause is a good duo. Yesterday, I asked a neighbor about a delayed repair. "I'm curious, what's been the trickiest part for you?" Then I mirrored one word he used, uncertain, and waited. Mirroring pulls one key word so they can go deeper.
Quick vocabulary note. A softener is a polite phrase that slows the question, like, "if you don't mind," "whenever you have a second," or "no pressure." A hedge, words like maybe, sort of, a bit, makes a statement gentler, not weaker.
Active listening also means short summaries. A friend told me, "My manager keeps moving deadlines." I said, "So the changes make planning hard." Then I asked, would it help to map the week together? The summary showed I heard the pain point. The follow-up invited options.
Mini recap. Soften the entry, pause briefly, back channel as they speak, then summarize one idea before your next question. That rhythm builds trust fast.
Quick cafe story. The barista spilled milk and looked embarrassed. I kept my voice low and said, "No rush, take your time." After the rush, she laughed and told me about learning to steam oat milk. My follow-up was simple. What did you figure out today? That gentle tone plus space turned a mistake into a human moment.
Tone matters so much. When a topic is personal, I slow my pace and let the last word fall, not rise, so it feels steady, not demanding. Then, I wait 1 or 2 beats before speaking again.
And if they pause mid-sentence, I don't jump in. I might offer a light prompt. Take your time, or I'm listening. It's amazing how often the next sentence is the real answer.
Another tiny move. Ask permission before a deeper question. If it's okay to ask, how did that affect your day? Permission lowers pressure, especially with new colleagues or neighbors.
One more. Match their energy. If they speak softly, I match that volume. If they're quick, I keep my answers concise so they can keep the thread. That's active listening too, adapting to their pace.
Quick wrap-up. Softeners open the door. Pauses keep it open. Back channels say, I'm here. And short summaries clear the path to your next question. It's simple, but it feels like care.
Next, we'll bring these together in real-world scenes, work, study, and travel, so you can hear how the moves flow in everyday conversations. Let's take these follow-up moves into real life. Work, study, travel, and quick small talk. Same tools, different rooms. Notice the detail, ask one focused question, then let a little silence do its magic.
Work first. In our stand-up, a new teammate looked lost. I asked, if it's okay, what feels most confusing right now? Then, which part would help today? She relaxed and said, the backlog. Backlog just means the list of tasks waiting. We made a tiny plan. Onboarding solved for the day. Onboarding is simply learning how things work.
Speaking of work, a cross-team call went sideways. Instead of blaming, I said, what happened first and what came next? That timeline frame. When they mentioned a broken tool, I asked, what workaround kept you moving? A workaround is a temporary solution. No need to escalate, meaning push the issue higher, because we got clarity fast.
Quick recap for work. Use a softener, narrow the focus, and ask for one next step. That sequence lowers stress and keeps trust strong.
Study time. At the library, a classmate whispered, my presentation is a mess. I echoed one word, mess, and asked, what's most unclear, structure, timing, or visuals? After he answered, I added, what would good look like for you? He pulled out the rubric, basically the scoring guide, and suddenly had a map.
Later, during office hours, I told my tutor, I froze during Q&A. She summarized. So the follow-up questions felt heavy. Then asked, if it's okay, what question shook you most? That permission helped. We did a quick debrief, meaning a short review after the event, and I left with 2 solid practice prompts.
Mini recap. Echo one detail, ask a most question, then debrief. It turns panic into clear steps.
Travel now. I missed a train in Milan. At the counter, I took a breath and said, no rush. Whenever you have a second, what options do I have? Then, which connection is most reliable today? Itinerary means the plan for your trip. A detour is a different route. Polite tone plus 2 questions saved the day.
Airport scene. My seat changed to middle. I kept it respectful. Is there a standby list or a small chance to switch later? Standby means waiting for an open seat. When the agent found one, I followed with, what time should I check back? Tiny, specific questions keep things friendly and effective.
Small talk in the elevator. A neighbor's dog tugged the leash. I said, "What's his name?" Then echoed, "Rescue?" and asked, "What's been his favorite thing lately?" Icebreaker just means a first easy topic. 20 floors later, we were trading park tips and building rapport. Comfortable connection.
Same at a cafe. Instead of busy day, I tried, how did the morning treat you? When the barista said, double shift, I asked, what was most surprising today? She smiled and told me about a latte art win. One good follow-up brightened both of us.
Quick sweep across scenes. Choose a frame. Timeline, most, or options. Listen for a keyword. Add a softener if needed, and leave a small pause. That's how casual moments turn into real conversations.
Next, we'll show how to keep the thread alive with echoing, paraphrasing, and smooth transitions, so even long chats stay easy and human. Let's dig into how to keep a conversation thread alive without tugging too hard. I lean on 3 moves. Echo a key word, paraphrase the meaning, then use a smooth transition to guide the next step.
Quick story from a team sync. A colleague sighed, "The pilot rollout felt messy." I echoed one word, "Messy?" with a gentle rise. She added details about conflicting emails. I paraphrased. So the timing felt off and the instructions clashed. Then I shifted with, "Speaking of timing, how did your client react?" That small bridge kept us focused, and she shared the real pain point, late approvals.
Echoing is tiny but powerful. Yesterday, a friend said, my visa appointment got moved again. I echoed, moved? He explained the office changed cities. I paraphrased, so you're rearranging work and travel? Then transitioned. Before we switch gears, what's your backup plan? That transition, before we switch gears, signaled I cared about his plan, not just the problem.
Vocabulary slide in. Paraphrase means restate the idea in simpler words. A segue is a smooth step to the next point. A tangent is when the talk drifts away. A callback is when you return to an earlier detail. And through line is the main idea you both follow.
In a cafe chat, a designer told me, I'm drowning in revisions. I echoed, drowning? Then I paraphrased, so the feedback keeps changing. To move us forward, I used a transition. On that note, what version finally felt right? It kept the talk constructive instead of repeating stress.
That reminds me of my neighbor and her balcony garden. She said, "The basil is stubborn." I echoed, "Stubborn?" and paraphrased, "So it's not growing the way you expect." Then a soft bridge. By the way, what's worked even a little? That shift invited solutions, and she lit up about morning light.
When a conversation starts to drift, I park the tangent. Let's bookmark the travel story. Can we circle back to the deadline first? Circle back and bookmark are gentle signposts that respect both topics while protecting the through line.
And sometimes I use contrast as a bridge. What surprised you, and what felt expected? After they answer, a callback like, "Earlier you mentioned the kickoff. How did that play into it?" brings the thread neatly together.
Mini recap. Echo one key word to show you heard it. Paraphrase to confirm meaning. Then choose a transition. Speaking of, by the way, on that note, before we switch gears, to steer the path without sounding bossy.
Do you ever use zooming moves? Zooming out, what's the big picture? Or zooming in, what did you do next? They're transitions too, and they help when details start to blur.
All the time. In a planning meeting, talk got stuck on tiny color changes. I said, zooming out, what outcome do we want by Friday? After we aligned, I zoomed in. What's the first draft we can send today? 2 clear steps, same thread.
If you worry about sounding fake, soften the bridge. I might be off, but it sounds like, or feel free to correct me, I'm hearing. Those phrases protect the connection while you test your paraphrase.
And remember pace. Pause after your paraphrase. If they nod or add a detail, you know the meaning landed. If they correct you, great, you just refined the thread together.
Quick wrap. Notice a word, echo it, paraphrase the message, then bridge to the next step with a kind transition. That sequence keeps long chats easy, focused, and human.
Up next, we'll combine all of this with short drills and real-life prompts, so the moves feel natural in your day. All right, let's land this with simple, real-life drills you can use today. No pressure, just small moves that make conversations feel easy and human.
Micro drill 1. Echo, paraphrase, pause. When someone says, long day, I echo, long? Then I paraphrase. So, meetings stacked up. And leave 2 quiet beats. That pause invites the real story.
Micro drill 2, the most focus. Ask one question that starts with, what was most... I used it with a teammate. What was most helpful today? He shared one tactic and we doubled down on it.
Micro drill 3. Softener plus permission. If a topic feels personal, I add, if it's okay, or no rush. Yesterday. If it's okay, how did that news land for you? The care mattered more than the words.
Micro drill 4, intonation awareness. I use a light rise to invite, how did you decide, and a soft fall to confirm. So the quiet helped. 2 tones, different jobs, invite and confirm.
2-minute swap with a friend. One person tells a short story, the other keeps the thread. With 1 echo, 1 paraphrase, and 1 smooth transition, like, on that note, then switch roles.
Homework for the next 24 hours. Pick 1 frame, timeline, most, or what made you. Use it in a real chat. Ask 2 gentle follow-ups and jot a 1-line debrief afterward.
I tried that last night at the mailbox. My neighbor said, I'm learning to bike to work. I echoed, learning? Paraphrased, so the hills are the challenge, and asked, what's been most encouraging? We ended up planning a flat route.
Mine was at a hardware store. The clerk sighed about a shipment. I used timeline. What happened first? Then what? After he explained, I asked, what was most annoying versus just inconvenient? He smiled and found me the exact screws.
If your mind goes blank, grab the last strong word, usually a noun or verb, and echo it softly. Then pause. If they keep talking, great. If not, a gentle, what helped even a little, opens the door.
Quick recap. Echo a key word, paraphrase for clarity, add a softener if needed, match your tone, rise to invite, fall to confirm, and leave a short pause. Tiny moves, big impact.
Final advice. Be curious, not perfect. Conversations breathe when you give them space. If a question falls flat, smile, acknowledge it, and try a different angle. People remember the care, not the script.
If this episode helped, tap subscribe, share it with a friend who loves good talk, and tell us which frame you tried today. We'll read a few on the next show. Take care and keep the thread alive.